Yeah. It is. Need to stop. Okay. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله اللهم صل وسلم وزد وعنم وأكرم على سيدنا ونبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وبارك وسلم تسليما كثيرا مزيدا دائما إلى يوم يبعثون وبعد. Respected listeners and viewers, brothers, sisters, elders listening at home, those who are present, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We finish off the hadith number 3. قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم بني الإسلام على خمس شهادة لا إله إلا الله وأن محمدا رسول الله وإقام الصلاة وإيتاء الزكاة وحج البيت وصوم رمضان. So we've covered the shahada, the conditions of the shahada. We spoke about iqam as-salah, about the general rulings regarding salah, the virtues of salah, and also the meaning of iqama as well. And we also spoke about wa'ita zakat, the virtues and rulings regarding hajj briefly. And we also spoke about the hajj al-bayt as well, the virtues of hajj as well. And we have also Ramadan left, which we will be finishing off this hadith tonight with the rulings and virtues of Ramadan. This hadith is muttafaqun alayh, meaning it is both from Al-Imam Bukhari and Imam Muslim who have mentioned this in the Sahihain. And the hadith, the rawi of the hadith is Umar ibn al-Khattab radiyallahu anhu. So regarding Sawm, it is performed in the month of Ramadan and it is obligatory upon every mature Muslim until they are able to fast. So somebody who is healthy and he's not suffering from any lifelong or underlying illnesses which could risk or put his life at risk rather, then that person does not need to fast. A child does not need to fast. Otherwise, anyone who is a Muslim, is aqil, he knows what's happening around him, he's baligh, then those people, they will fast. The first group, as I mentioned, those who are not able to fast for any reason, illness, mainly illness, they will give fidya. Okay? They will give fidya. A person who is not able to fast because on the day he was not well or he was traveling, then they don't give fidya. They will have to make the fast up after the month of Ramadan. So what is the purpose of Ramadan? The purpose of Ramadan, of course, is to become conscious of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to train ourselves to become or to have taqwa of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is, as they say, the month of taqwa, our own MOT. So when a car is taken to the garage and they check the faults, etc., and then they tell you this and this needs to be done. And subhanAllah, the month of Ramadan is like this as well. And sometimes we know our own weaknesses, because in the month of Ramadan, generally, the sins dramatically fall. And people go into this special mode of spirituality, especially where in a month where إذا جاء رمضان فتحت أبواب السماء وغلقت أبواب الجحيم وصفت الشياطين. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala opens the doors of Jannah, the doors of Jahannam are closed, shayateen are chained away. So spiritually, from that aspect, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made it very easy for us. يُرِيدُ اللَّهُ بِكُمُ الْيُسْرَ وَلَا يُرِيدُ بِكُمُ الْعُسْرَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not wish this to be a burden on us, but rather a rahmah. So in the month of Ramadan, when somebody suddenly starts to pray 5 times a day, and his routine normally is that he doesn't, he's automatically worked out one of the weaknesses that he has, and that is that he's not praying, and that he needs to pray, continuously needs to pray come the month of Shawwal, which is the first month after Ramadan. And like this Quran as well, somebody who's not been praying Quran in Ramadan, he opens the Quran, he starts reading again. That is one of the ways he learns about himself, that this is his weakness, he's not reading Quran. And like this, many other things as well. Giving charity, he's never given charity. In Ramadan, he starts giving charity. This needs to be something that needs to be done consistently. So you have the zakat, which is compulsory upon you, like we've mentioned. But there are other forms of sadaqah that you can give for various reasons as well. And then of course in the Ramadan somebody starts talking less. He stops backbiting, he stops swearing, and normally he does. Again, that's another way your MOT is being done, is that you assessing yourself and you say, you know what, in the month of Shawwal, I need to talk less. And we spoke about muraqabah in the other hadith as well, in hadith number 2, that the pious predecessors, they used to muraqabah of themselves. And muraqabah here means to hold oneself accountable, to be vigilant of oneself, to the extent that they could literally count how many words they would speak at the end of the day. That's how less they spoke. Meaning they only spoke when there was a need. The Salaf as-Salihin, they only spoke when there was a need. And by the end of the day, they could tell you how many words they spoke. That's muraqabah. Okay? Controlling yourself, holding yourself to accountable. So again, in the Ramadan, when the month comes and you stop backbiting, you stop lying, you stop, passing false rumors, and you know, this is my weakness, this is something I'm doing, and I've stopped in Ramadan, this is something I need to continue doing in the month of Shawwal as well. So the purpose of Ramadan is to train ourselves, to improve oneself, and also doing good deeds. And I've just mentioned some of the good deeds that we do. Some of the benefits of Ramadan and the fast. The first one, as I've mentioned, the doors of Jannah open, the doors of Jahannam close, and the shayateen are chained away. This only happens in Ramadan, no other month. So Ramadan is the only month which we can say shaitan free, no shaitan. Dhul Hijjah is coming up, the first 10 days are sacred. We know regarding the virtues and blessings of the 10 days of Dhul Hijjah, but shaitan is there. In Ramadan, there is no shaitan. Number 2 is the fasting people are forgiven. So those who are fasting and they're doing the best possible fast, they are also being forgiven as well. Number 3 is many others are being emancipated from hellfire. So those who are probably destined for hellfire, somebody's made dua for them, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has freed them from hellfire. Number 4 is angels pray for the fasting person as well. So the person who's fasting, the angels are praying for them. Number 5 is the smell of the breath of the fasting person is more dear to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or more sweeter to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala than the smell of musk. Now one might ask, why does a person have bad smell in his breath or in his mouth? Okay, why does one have bad smell in his breath? And number 2, why is it that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned, or in the hadith is mentioned, that this smell, what is the purpose that this smell, person's breath smells so bad, and yet it is sweet to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? What normally happens is the bad smell, it happens because when a person's diet changes, his metabolism changes. Okay, so normally during the fast, your blood sugar, your sugar levels, they drop. So what happens is the body then, as a result of this, it starts to use the stored fats in the body. This is why fasting is good, especially intermittent fasting. If you're trying to lose weight, a lot of people and non-Muslims are doing this, intermittent fasting. So what happens when you, for example, are not eating for 20 hours or 18 hours, your blood sugar goes low, sugar levels go low. Now what happens, the body starts to work with the fat, starts using up the fat that you have in your system. Okay? And when the body is doing this, this is what creates the bad smell. Okay, the bad smell comes as a result of this, and then you can smell this in your breath as well. Another example is when a person sleeps. Yes? And you wake up, you have a bad smell. What happens is, when you're sleeping, that is the moment where not only are you resting, but your body is recovering as well. All of the organs inside of your body, as you're sleeping, they are recovering. And not only that, I don't know if you weigh yourself, if you have an accurate weighing, you'll notice that at night, for example, if you are 14.2 is your weight, if you wake up in the morning, you'll be 14.1 or 14 stones, bang on. You would have lost that 2 grams of fat. Why? Because the body, whilst you were asleep, used up that fat. I've tried it, yes, of course, I know. Yeah, I get happy, but if it's about 3-4 pounds, I'd be happy. But yes, of course, if you're regularly losing weight and you notice, and I noticed that. So when I actually put this to a health expert, one of my relatives, the doctor as well, they actually explained this to me as well, that this is why when you wake up in the morning, you are at least the 2 pounds, I think it's 2 pounds less. No, it's less than 2 pounds. So it's like there's 14 pounds in a stone. So if you are 14.2, you'll be 14.1 in the morning. Another thing, why is it bad to eat and go to sleep? This is a very, very bad habit. Those people who eat and then go straight to sleep, is that where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has designed your body to sleep at night, and for your the organs inside that have been working hard all day whilst you've been eating to recover, they're not recovering. Because now, number one is you're in one place, you're literally dead, and your organs now are working even harder to sort out the food that you've eaten. This is from the system of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How amazing. And the next hadith, hadith number 4, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to mention how the insan is created, we will learn more there. Amazing. But this is from the miracles of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how He has designed our bodies and what our bodies do. This is why the body is an amanat from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we will be held accountable and will be questioned how we treated this body. So this is one of the benefits of fasting, is that it's not all about losing weight, it's also about giving your organs inside a rest. It's like a car. If you continuously drive it 100 miles on the motorway, what's going to happen to the engine? It's going to start making noise. It needs you to stop. Do 40 miles, stop, take a rest, let the engine cool down, you continue. And our stomachs are the same. Why is it that by the age of 40, 50, 60, especially our sort of Indo-Pak people compared to Gore, right? They're indigenous people, they're healthy, their diet is relatively good, they eat very less spices, they don't have all the carbs that we intend to have. You know, Gore will have a soup. With our soup, you have 4 or 5 rotis as well, mashallah. So cut out the carbs and that, you know. They're healthy, subhanallah. You know, they're going to hospitals when they're 80 and 90 and they got nobody to look after them. We Pakistanis, subhanallah, we're 40, 50 and we're already in hospitals and we're on 10, 20 tablets. It's all about the diet. It is about the diet. It's our food as well. Now, all the herbs that we're having, these are good. Like just today I learned about jeera. You know jeera? You should have 1 spoon of raw jeera every single day. Why? Because our bodies are low on iron. And if you want to make up the iron, they say, health experts say, have cumin, and cumin is jeera. Haldi, it's anti-inflammatory, I think they call it. Haldi, right? Ginger is very good as well. Garlic as well does the job. The point I'm trying to mention is all of these herbs that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sent into this dunya are the medication. Each one of them has its own blessings. And if you nowadays, subhanAllah, you can find these things on Google. You know, if you've got blood pressure, have this. If you've got this illness, have this. This is raw medicine. If you've got a wound, rather than putting Vaseline on or covering with plaster, put some haldi. And haldi does the job as well. Amazing. So the point I'm trying to make, everything Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made in this dunya is for a purpose. Our bodies are for a purpose. And in order to preserve our bodies, to look after our bodies, we should know about this. They're telling us in coronavirus, one of the best medicines for coronavirus is kulvanji. Yeah, black seed, oil and black seed, the actual seeds. We knew of this because the Prophet ﷺ told us that we should regularly be having black seeds. So this should be put on your salad and have it. Or if you can have a raw, just a spoon of black seeds, then you should do that as well. And there are many other things Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sent, and each one of them has a cure as well. And this is of course down to us going down and actually learning about this. So as I mentioned, this is the benefit of fasting, that your body goes into a period where it's recovering. But the sad thing is, the very sad thing is, that Ramadan is a month in which your body is supposed to recover. So whilst you're sleeping at night, it's supposed to recover. During the day, you're supposed to eat less. When you open your fast, date, water, some fruits, a small snack. Eat less in Ramadan so your body recovers. But we seem to eat more in Ramadan. So we're doing the opposite. So the health aspect of Ramadan, yes, spiritually we've got the rewards, we're doing Taraweeh, we're doing Qiyam al-Layl, we're getting the rewards of the fasting person, the angels are praying dua for us. But the other aspect, where the physical aspect or the bodily benefits, we're not getting anything. Because when in Ramadan our diet is supposed to be good and healthy, and we're supposed to eat all the healthy stuff, and we're supposed to eat less so that our bodies recover, our bodies are working even more. The pakora, the samosa, everything, all the oily stuff. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us understanding. And also Ramadan helps to develop taqwa as well, and self-discipline. And the meaning of taqwa is not just to fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it also to protect oneself from actions that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made haram upon us. And the unique thing about Ramadan, the wisdom behind Ramadan, is that for a certain amount of hours, 18 hours, even the halal stuff become haram on you. Water is haram on you. Dates are haram on you. The normal food that you can eat at, let's say 9 o'clock is fasting time, that food at 8:45, at 8:50, at 8:55 is haram on you as well. Until the adhan is not said, that food is haram on you. That is the wisdom. And the wisdom is that if you can say no to something which is halal, why can't you say no to something which Allah has made haram? Example of this is a person is lost in a desert. He's been walking and walking and walking, he's lost. And he's thirsty and he's about to die, and then suddenly he sees, okay, he's not about to die, because in that case it would be an exception, he would be able to have something to, right? But let's say he's lost somewhere, and then he's getting a bit hungry now, and suddenly he sees that there's a plate of food in front of him, or there's some water. Now, nobody's watching him. He's fasting. Nobody's watching him. If he wants to, he can have that plate of food and carry on. Nobody's going to know, there's nobody there. But when he says to himself, I am fasting, and he walks away, that is taqwa. That is taqwa. Why? Because he knows nobody's watching, but Allah is watching. And that is the whole purpose of taqwa. And this happens to us. When we're fasting at home, the wife is out, the kids are out, you can easily go and have something from the fridge. You can cheat if you want to. Nobody's going to know. But they don't know. Allah knows. And that is taqwa. And if we can understand that, and if we can say no to food and water whilst we're fasting, why can't we say no to zina? Why can't we say no to drugs? Why can't we say no to spreading false rumors, namima? It's become very common nowadays, especially on social media. Somebody hears one thing, they add extra masala, give it to the other person, he adds a bit more masala, adds it to the third person. That thing is made bigger than it actually was. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from this. And this was the final pillar of Islam, was Sawmi Ramadan. Next, hadith number 4, we'll go through the Arabic first, inshallah, and if we get time we'll do the translation, and then we'll continue with the commentary of the hadith. An Abi Abdurrahman Abdullah ibn Mas'ud radiyallahu anhu qal. So the Ravi of this hadith, hadith number 4, is Abdullah ibn Mas'ud. قال حدثنا رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم وهو الصادق المصدوق. So Abdullah ibn Mas'ud here, he is the one who's going to mention the hadith, and he says that I heard or I learned from the Rasulullah صلى الله عليه وسلم وهو الصادق المصدوق. He is the most truthful and he is the most honest. Okay. And now this is the hadith of Rasulullah صلى الله عليه وسلم. إن أحدكم يجمع خلقه في بطن أمه 40 يوما نطفة ثم يكون. Now this word nutfa is very important here. The word nutfa, we're going to discuss this. Okay. ثم يكون علقة مثل ذلك ثم يكون مضغة مثل ذلك ثم يرسل إليك الملك فينفخ فيه الروح ويؤمر ب4 كلمات بكتب رزقه وعجله وعمله وشقي أو سعيد فوالله. Now this is now word of Abdullah ibn Mas'ud. The hadith ended at أو سعيد. Now this is now the wording of Abdullah ibn Mas'ud from Wallahi. فوالله الذي لا إله غيره إن أحدكم ليعمل بعمل أهل الجنة حتى ما يكون بينه وبين إلا ذراع فيسبق عليه الكتاب kitab here means taqdeer of Allah. فَيَعْمَلُوا بِعَمَلِ أَهْلِ النَّارِ أعوذ بالله فَيَدْخُلُهَا وَإِنَّ أَحَدَكُمْ لَيَعْمَلُ بِعَمَلِ أَهْلِ النَّارِ حَتَّى مَا يَكُونُ بَيْنَهُ وَبَيْنَهَا إِلَّا ذِرَاعٌ فَيَسْبِقُ عَلَيْهِ الْكِتَابُ فَيَعْمَلُ بِعَمَلِ أَهْلِ الْجَنَّةِ فَيَدْخُلُهَا رواه البخاري ومسلم. This hadith again is muttafaqun alayh. It is reported from Al-Imam Bukhari and Muslim in their Sahih. Tarjama, translation, is very important that we understand at this stage, and you'll understand the importance and the power of this hadith. So we said Abdullah ibn Mas'ud reported, the messenger, the most truthful, the most trustworthy, told us, indeed the creation of any one of you takes place when he is assembled in his mother's womb. For 40 days he is a drop of fluid. Then it becomes a clot for a similar period. Thereafter it is a lump looking like it has been chewed, like a chewing gum or a morsel, for a similar period. Then an angel is sent to him who breathes the ruh into him. This is the soul, the spirit, into him. This angel is commanded to write 4 decrees. This angel will write 4 decrees. Rizqihi, wajalihi, wa amali, wa shakin or sa'id. What does he write down? His provision, his lifespan, his deeds, and whether he will be among the wretched or whether he will be among the blessed. Meaning whether he will be from the Ahlul Jahannam or the Ahlul Jannah. These 4 things are decreed. Now at this point it's very important to understand, you might be thinking, if this has already been decreed, whether we're going to go Jannah or Jahannam, then why are we praying? Yes? But this is where we're going to understand the meaning of this. This is why we can't take something face value, and we have to understand. And now this is Abdullah ibn Mas'ud saying, I swear by Allah, he says, for Wallahi, there is no God but He. Now this is also worth listening to. One of you may perform the deeds of the people of paradise till there is left but an arm's length between him and paradise, when suddenly that which has been written, meaning taqdeer, will outstrip him so that he performs the deeds of the people of hellfire. So meaning he was so close to going Jannah, and at the end he's written from the hellfire, people of Jahannam. And one of you may perform the deeds of the people of hellfire, when suddenly that which has been written will outstrike or overtake him, so that he performs the deeds of the people of paradise, and he will enter therein. Now some of the points, and before we finish, Abdullah ibn Mas'ud has referred to the Prophet ﷺ as as-sadiqul masduq, meaning the one who is the most truthful and the one who is the most honest. And this is a disclaimer from him. At this we need to understand, and we need to believe in this. And if we have any doubts in as-sadiqul masduq, then we are no longer Muslims. If you don't believe the Prophet ﷺ is the most truthful and the most honest, your iman is in question, to the extent that ulama said you have left the fold of Islam. Because if you don't believe that the Prophet ﷺ is as-sadiqul masduq, that he is the most truthful, you are questioning the authenticity of the Quran. You are questioning what Rasulullah ﷺ brought into this world. You understand? So this is why you have to believe in that. Number 2, the Prophet is talking about the concept of how humans are created in this hadith and formed. And this was not heard of previously. The previous scriptures did not mention this. And at that time, this was from the scientific miracles of the Quran and the Hadith, and still is. Okay? Nowadays, science and technology has confirmed this. In the time of Rasulullah ﷺ, this was never mentioned before. They never heard of something being in the mother's womb that was a nutfa, that was an alaqa, that was mudgha. Do you understand? This is the first time where Rasulullah ﷺ spoke about what was happening inside of the mother's womb. People accuse the Quran of being Hagerism. There's a book, Hagerism, which is written by some Orientalists. It's worth reading. It's not one of the best books to read, but the Orientalists are those people who question Islam and the Prophet ﷺ. Hagerism. And their claim was that Rasulullah ﷺ picked up sources in Mecca from the Christians, meaning Waraqa bin Nawfal, and he compiled the Quran. And when he went to Medina, he compiled the Torah or the Zabur from the people of Medina. So whilst he was in Mecca, he got, because remember the Quran, the Bible, Zabur are more or less, they are similar, but the Quran goes into more detail. So this is Hagerism. Orientalists say the Quran is Hagerism. They say in Makkah, Prophet ﷺ spoke to Waraqa bin Nawfal. He studied the Bible. The Prophet ﷺ was unlettered, he could not read. He said, Ma nabi qari. This is why Prophet ﷺ was kept unlettered. We shouldn't say jahil, we should use the most and the respected word. Some people say he was ignorant. This is the worst word. We say Prophet ﷺ was unlettered. That's a respectful way of saying he didn't know how to read. If the Prophet ﷺ did not know how to read, how could he study the Bible from Waraqa ibn Nawfal? How could he study the Zabur and Torah in Medina? So how do we refute these people who say the Quran is a form of Hagerism? We say yes, the Quran has certain elements from the Bible and the Torah and Zabur and Injil. But what about those parts in the Quran that are not in the Bible and not in the Zabur? For example, Surah Yusuf. Yeah? In Surah Yusuf, there are certain elements in the surah which you'll probably find in the Bible, you'll find in the Torah or the Zabur. But what about Surah Yusuf, the parts that are not found in the Bible? Because remember, the people of Medina, the Jews of Medina, they put a challenge to Prophet ﷺ, or the people of Makkah. They said, if you are a true prophet, then you should know about Yusuf. You should know about Joseph. You should know about him. You should know about Jacob. Tell us about him. And then not only did Prophet ﷺ tell them about Yusuf and Yaqub and Ishaq, what they knew from their books, he told them what they knew not from their books as well. So this is how we refute Hagerism. This is how we refute the Orientalists who say the Quran was copied from the Bible or from the books of the Jews. How much time do we have left? So we'll finish off on this note and we'll continue tomorrow. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين فاستغفر إنه الغفور الرحيم سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك وصلى الله وسلم على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وجزاكم الله خير.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح. قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. والعاديات ضبحا فالموريات قدحا فالمغيرات صبحا فأثرن به نقعا فبسطن به جمعا. إن الإنسان لربه لكنود وإنه على ذلك لشهيد وإنه لحب الخير لشديد. أفلا يعلم إذا بعثر ما في القبور وحصل ما في الصدور إن ربهم بهم يومئذ لخبير. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. القارعة ما القارعة وما أدراك ما القارعة يوم يكون الناس كالفراش المبثوث وتكون الجبال كالعهن المنفوش فأما من ثقلت موازينه فهو في عيشة راضية وأما من خفت موازينه فأمه هاوية وما أدراك ما هي نار حامية. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. اللهم أنت السلام منك السلام تباركت يا ذا الجلال والإكرام. اللهم إنا نعوذ بك من عذاب القبر ونعوذ بك من فتنة المسيح الدجال ونعوذ بك من فتنة المحيا والممات. اللهم إنا نعوذ بك من المأثم والمغرم. وصلى الله تعالى على خير خلقه سيدنا مولانا محمد وآله وصحبه أجمعين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين.